What's good, y'all? It's your boy Def Finesse back at y'all with another TDF perspective.
It's to die for.
All right, look. So I'd say from the time I was in middle school, one of my favorite comedians has always been Katt Williams. Not necessarily because he's the most, you know what I'm saying. He's the smartest comedian and he's so witty and all that, but just because the topics he's always chosen to cover have always been very, very real topics that really go there, whether they be racial, religious, or even just talking about the government. Katt Williams is the only comedian to hit the mainstream lane, if you will, and still maintain, you know, his style of comedy. So yeah, because of that, he's always been one of my favorite comedians. And you know, I've been trying to figure out a logo I should use for this channel. And I definitely knew that I wanted to use an animal. So I got to thinking about all these different kinds of animals, and I was like, okay, what animal could the so-called black man relate to? And us Africans, and could African men in America relate to? And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, all right, it definitely has to be an animal that is more of a lone wolf, you know, has to do things on its own, you know, hunt for itself, fend for itself, it has to survive. So lion is out of the picture. A lion is what we're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be your own king, have your own kingdom. You know, if you want to have multiple women, you can do, excuse me, you can do that. But, yeah, obviously, you know, this society is designed, it's been strategically constructed in a way where it demonizes any man, not even just the so-called black man, but just any man of any race in America trying to do that. So now when you focus on the so-called black man, you begin to realize that, okay, something like a tiger is what we are. We got to fend for ourselves. We got to do everything on our own. You know what I'm saying? We don't get to move in packs. We got to make things happen on our own. But then you really start to think about it. But even then, you're not allowed to do that shit. You got to go to a job ran by what? A white man. You got to go to a school ran by what? A white man. So until you build your own, you are literally at the mercy of people of other demographics that don't respect you. So essentially, you're what? You're a tiger in a zoo. Okay? You're not a tiger in a jungle. You're a tiger in a zoo. And I was really thinking about this, putting this all together, and then I realized, yo, I must be thinking about this because it's probably in my subconscious from listening to Katt Williams say this shit years ago. He point blank says this shit. Now we're about to watch this video where he cracks a joke about being a tiger in a zoo, about tigers in a zoo. But just to let y'all know, before he even cracks that joke, I can't get it on camera, but he tells the audience, he tells the white members of the audience, he tells them, white people, if you can't understand what it's like to be a black man or what it's like to be a tiger in a zoo, then you have no idea what it's like to be a nigga in America. Katt Williams said this shit on stage in a comedy special. So let's peep the game, and I'm going to go ahead and chime in as we go.
All I'm saying is you got to look at this shit from the tiger's motherfucking viewpoint. First of all, this ain't no fake-ass got it at the mall tiger. This a real goddamn tiger, like the kind that be on National Geographic every time you turn it on the back of a wildebeest ass and shit. The wildebeest don't even be dead. I'm not even dead yet. I don't give a fuck, bitch. I'm hungry now. Real fucking tiger. And every day they got this real fucking tiger in a fake ass habitat. Real fucking tiger, fake ass habitat. And the tiger.
So right off the bat, I peep how, you know, Katt goes out of his way to make a distinction between the tiger, you know, before and after. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a tiger that was born in the zoo, that, you know, grows up just accustomed to the, you know, the rules of the zoo and has no idea what life outside the zoo is like. No, this is a tiger that is in the wild, in solitude, as a survivalist, a professional survivalist, the top of the food chain. You know what I'm saying? And they take this tiger and they put him in what he calls a fake ass habitat. Now I know for a fact a lot of us can relate to that. You know, when you just even just the American workplace, you know, the way they try so hard to make you feel like you're a part of a family. And anytime you give in and you accept that family dynamic, what happens? You are always the first one to get fucked over. Whether it be getting blamed for something that you didn't do, or just being forced to put up with stuff that you know in your heart, you know in your soul, that you would not put up with this outside of the job. But see, they finesse you into being what they call a cool ass black dude. You know, this starts really in school. I remember them kids tried so hard to make me find, you know, slavery funny, 10 cents a day, African kids starving funny. They wanted me to find all that funny, but you couldn't crack no joke on Mexicans. Don't you dare crack a joke on no white people. You see what I'm saying? And if you were to crack a joke on any other demographic, they would ask you, well, Tyrone, how would you feel if we said, and then they'll say whatever little racist comment. So right off the bat, they want you to change your perception of yourself and accept the role of a clown, but they disguise it as cool ass black dude. So in other words, you are a tiger in a zoo. Okay? Really just a real ass nigga in a fake ass environment, to simply put it. Let's continue.
You're not supposed to know as a real tiger that this is a speaker system. And every fucking day, the tiger be fucked up because he be conflicted. Everything in the tiger spirit is telling him, nigga, you a motherfucking monster, nigga. You a beast. You run the jungle, nigga. You supposed to roar and shit's supposed to happen. And every fucking day, the tiger come out.
See, y'all get that? So he's typing in, he's tapping into the psychology of the tiger in the zoo, in the metaphor, of course. And again, for you brothers out there that are in, still in school, grade school, high school, middle school, myself, in the workplace. Yeah, it's normal for you to think that. When you're the only one of your kind, okay, that being a real man, an astute man, a man with a ruling class mentality. See, some of y'all, we gotta understand that there's not very many of us left, man. So yeah, naturally you're gonna start to doubt yourself a little bit, maybe because you're gonna start to feel like maybe there's something really is wrong with you. Why are you the only one that seems to think this way? That seems to feel this way. Especially when you're at the job and then you're surrounded by Uncle Tom Negroes. When you're surrounded by so many so-called blacks and even Africans that they just want that hug from Massa. They want Massa to like them so bad. You start to wonder, man, am I supposed to be doing that too, or what's going on? And that's what Katt Williams is talking about. He was slick with this joke. This is the realest joke I've ever heard. A mainstream comedian crack.
Out and tried, and the shit don't work. And some of us know how the fuck that feel to be trying shit and trying shit, trying shit and trying shit, don't work. Trying shit and trying shit, won't work. Trying shit and switch it up.
See, this trying shit, he's talking about getting out. Get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever situation you're in, you're supposed to be working. Tirelessly working to get the fuck out of that situation, period. You never, under no circumstances, do you settle. Ever.
Trying shit, won't work. That's how the fuck the tiger feel every goddamn day he come out with the roar and shit. Just, wish me luck, wish me luck. Roar! You see that bitch take a camera phone picture of me right in the middle of my goddamn roar? You see how they disrespect the tiger? These 4 tigers don't know what the fuck to do. It be 4, 5 real tigers in a fake ass habitat. What the fuck you think them tigers talk about every goddamn day? Nothing but what the fuck they would do if a motherfucker was to ever climb their goddamn foot over the goddamn gate. That's all the fuck they talk about. Just, I wish a motherfucker would climb in this goddamn cage. This cage right here, nigga. This cage right here.
And real quick, let me chime in. If you happen to be in a situation, you know, as a quote unquote tiger, and you're surrounded by, or you have 3, 4, 5 other real tigers with you, you are blessed. So for those of y'all that don't understand what I'm saying, like, okay, if you in school right now, and instead of being the only so-called black person in your class, no, you're just one of the only so-called black people in your class. You got 3 or 4 other people that are thinking along the same wavelength as you. Dog, that class is gonna be very fun because, you know, you got people in there that understand you, for the most part, or at least understand the dynamic. See, the game becomes very difficult when you're the only one. When you're the only one, oh man, it's a psychological battle. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I mean it could be done.
It's a motherfucker world. And a tiger be fucked up. Because the tiger feel like he's supposed to be eating elephants and giraffes and shit. And every day they come feed him meat out of a bucket and shit. And all while he eating that bullshit, what he be looking at? Your good fresh meat ass walking around the zoo with a video camera and shit. Look at that delicious ass fat bitch right there. I eat the shit out that delicious ass fat bitch right there. Fuck that, it say baby fat right on her motherfucking ass. You know that's my favorite part. I love baby fat. And the tiger be fucked up because he don't know what to feel. And after a while, he get depressed and down and start acting like us. You know how we get depressed and start doubting shit and we shouldn't even doubt. I bet the tigers had got as low as they could possibly get. Just, are you sure I'm a tiger? I don't feel very much like a tiger.
See, he's saying it like it's a joke, but there's really a meaning behind all this. And you know that line that he just said, "Are you sure? Are you sure I'm a tiger?" That's a real line. I mean, you know, I remember, you know, just a couple years ago, really sitting down and thinking to myself, like, am I really Ghanaian? You know, when I was thinking about my father, his father, and then, you know, my maternal grandparents, and just how they're living, what they built for themselves, or what they were able to build for themselves. And then just fast forward to me, and I'm supposed to feel like just because I'm in America, I'm better off than them. You know, at least that's what they try to tell us in my community, in the Ghanaian community, that just because we're in America, we're good now, everything's perfect, we're ahead. And I disagree with that. You know, my paternal grandfather was a chief. He ran an entire village, had multiple wives. As a matter of fact, my grandmother was his last wife, and they had 5 or 6 kids, my father included. And then my maternal grandfather, he came from a family that was well off, and you know, in his old age, he was an architect, and as a matter of fact, he redesigned the church that he attended. He redesigned the building for that church, and he left us a house. You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of mentalities that's at least in my family. And none of them had to deal with being in situations where all these different demographics are constantly trying to interact with them on a level of you're inferior to me or I'm better than you. You get what I'm saying? And that's literally what I'm dealing with. And not just me, but just all of us so-called blacks, dealing with every single day. So when I got to thinking about that, I did feel down. Like, man, like I had to build something out here. I gotta build something for myself. I gotta build something for my family. You know. But I think it's important that you don't think about those kind of things, for too long. And if you are, you just use it as motivation to keep pushing forward.
Maybe I'm just a vicious ass koala bear. Did you ever investigate that? But as a real motherfucker, you can't never afford to give up. Because all real motherfuckers is only waiting on one opportunity, and that's the opportunity to show a motherfucker they ain't bullshitting. And I bet them tigers had got as low as they could possibly get, and then something wonderful happened in the tiger world. Nigga, this is not a drill. Get ready, nigga. They think we bullshitting.
Yeah, they finally got their opportunity.
Wait for it, Marlin! That's what the fuck's supposed to happen. What the fuck's...
And what's ironic is they finally got, their opportunity to prove to not only themselves, because as Katt said, they start to doubt themselves, like, am I really a tiger? And the moment they finally get to prove that, no, yes, I am a tiger. I am a real life tiger. They get demonized for it. And you can't tell me it's not the same with the so-called black man and us African men. As soon as you stand up for yourself, as soon as you show them, hey, look, I'm astute, I know what I'm doing, I'm intellectually independent. I don't need this. I'm not going to put up with this. You get demonized. If you at a job, you get fired. If you at school, you go into the office. So essentially, they're trying to reprogram you. They're trying to train you to be what? Uncle Tom. For those of y'all that are in school, pay attention to those black kids that roll with nothing but white people. Roll with nothing but white kids. They are all Uncle Toms, every last one of them. Okay, some of them might be kind of charismatic. Some of them might be getting the girls, but at the end of the day, understand the psychology is the same. They want that acceptance. They want that hug. Don't ever give into that. Don't ever let nobody reprogram you. Okay, you African, you're not supposed to find 10 cents a day funny. You black, you're not supposed to find, so-called black, you're not supposed to find slavery funny, period. Okay, I don't give a fuck how funny they think the joke is. Don't even listen to it. And if they crack it anyway, just dismiss them, ignore them. For us that are, not in school anymore, that are in these workplaces, we just gotta exercise a great deal of patience, because the game is different. You stand up for yourself, you're getting fired. That's the difference between being so-called black and then these other demographics. So when you offended as a so-called black man, us Africans included, you gotta decide in that moment: are you offended enough to where you're willing to lose your job, or not? That's why I give this channel towards the so-called black man, really the young so-called black man, because I'm a young African man myself. It's all about tireless, deft to finesse. In other words, TDF. That basically just boils down to peeping the game and finessing accordingly. The black man, he has to be tireless. The black man needs to be deft, and he has to have a certain level of finesse when he's in these different dynamics and these different situations. So yeah, that's it for this video, man. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe out there. And I'm out.